7 things you must know before selling your UK business. Avoid overpaying tax. Let's be honest. Most UK business owners spend years building their company, but when it comes to selling it, they end up paying more tax than they needed to, not because they did anything wrong, but because they didn't plan early enough. And in 2026, the rules are changing. So in this video, we're breaking everything down into 7 simple parts. First, the biggest mistakes most business owners make when exiting their limited company. Second, how to prepare your company for sale. Third, share sale versus asset sale explained. Fourth, the most tax-efficient exit strategies. Fifth, the key tax rates and rule changes this 2026. Sixth, structure, timing, and documentation tips. Seventh, the top exit strategies most owners overlook. So, if you're thinking about selling your business, this is your roadmap. Let's get into it. First topic is about the biggest mistakes business owners make. Number 1, leaving it too late. If you start planning your exit a year before selling, you've already reduced your options. The most efficient exits are usually planned 3 to 5 years in advance, because things like ownership structure, business asset disposal relief, or previously known as entrepreneur's relief, take time to optimize. Number 2, extracting too much too early. Many directors take profits as dividends, which can be taxed from 10.75% up to the additional rate of 39.35% for dividends over £125,140. But in some situations, those profits could have formed part of the sale and been taxed under capital gains instead. For example, selling £60,000 of shares back to the company could mean £10,800 in tax at an 18% capital gains tax rate, versus around £21,450 if taken as dividends at 35.75%. Number 3, choosing the wrong deal structure. Selling shares versus selling assets can lead to very different tax outcomes. Number 4, not meeting relief conditions. For example, with business asset disposal relief, you must meet specific criteria. Miss one condition, and the relief may not apply at all. Second, how to prepare your company for sale. Think like a buyer. If you were about to spend hundreds of thousands or even millions on a business, you'd want clarity, you'd want confidence, and if anything feels unclear or risky, you either lower your offer or walk away completely. That's exactly how buyers think. So here are 4 key areas you need to get right. Number 1, clean financials. Your story and numbers. Buyers don't just look at profit. They look at consistency. They want to see 3 to 5 years of reliable accounts that clearly show revenue trends, profit margins, and cash flow. For example, if your profits jump up and down every year, or expenses look inconsistent, that may create doubt. But if your numbers show steady growth or clear improvement, that builds confidence. And confidence often leads to a higher valuation. Number 2, legal clarity. Remove deal breakers early. This is where deals quietly fall apart. Buyers will check things like customer contracts, supplier agreements, shareholder agreements, and intellectual property ownership. For example, if a key client contract isn't signed properly, or your shares aren't structured clearly, that creates risk. And risk means either a lower offer or delays during the deal process. So the goal is simple: make everything easy to understand and easy to verify. Number 3, operational independence. Can it run without you? This is one of the biggest value drivers. If the business depends on you for sales, client relationships, and decision-making, then from a buyer's perspective, the business becomes riskier the moment you leave. But if you have a management team, documented processes, and clear systems, then the business becomes transferable, scalable, and more valuable. A simple test: if you stepped away for 3 months, would the business still run smoothly? If the answer is yes, you're in a strong position. Number 4, identify key assets, your hidden value. Most owners think of assets as equipment, office space, and stock, but buyers are often more interested in recurring client contracts, strong brand reputation, online presence or domain, and proven systems and processes. For example, a business with predictable long-term clients is usually worth more than one relying on one-off sales. So don't just think about what you own. Think about what actually generates value. Preparation isn't just admin work. It directly impacts how quickly you sell, how smooth the process is, and how much you get paid. The more organized and independent your business looks, the more confident a buyer feels. And in most cases, that confidence turns into a better deal. Third, share sale versus asset sale. This is where outcomes can differ. At first glance, both sound like selling your business, but from a tax perspective, they can work very differently. Share sale. This is commonly preferred by sellers. You sell your shares personally. In many straightforward cases, this is taxed under capital gains tax, which often means a single layer of tax, a cleaner exit, and fewer post-sale complications. Asset sale. This is often preferred by buyers. Here, the company sells parts of the business, for example, equipment, contracts, and goodwill. The company receives the proceeds first. Then you extract funds personally. This can result in corporation tax at company level, and potentially further tax when extracting funds. A deal that looks strong on paper may produce very different net outcomes after tax, so understanding this early is critical. Fourth, tax-efficient exit strategies explained clearly. Now, let's look at the main strategies. Each one follows the same principle. Structuring your exit so the profits are taxed efficiently based on current HMRC rules. Number 1. Share sale with business asset disposal relief. The common route. This is the route many business owners aim for. If you qualify for business asset disposal relief, you may pay a reduced capital gains tax rate on qualifying gains. Before April 2025, the rate was 10%. Last 2025, the rate was 14%. From April 2026, it is expected to increase to 18%. The lifetime limit remains £1 million. To qualify, conditions generally include holding at least 5% of shares and voting rights, being an employee or officer, and holding shares for at least 2 years. Number 2. Spouse planning. Sharing the gain. If structured correctly, both spouses may qualify for business asset disposal relief. This can allow gains to be split across 2 individuals. But timing is important. Any transfers should be genuine and done well in advance of a sale. Number 3. Share buyback. Company purchases shares. In some cases, a company can buy back shares from a shareholder. If specific HMRC conditions are met, the proceeds may be treated as a capital gain instead of dividend income. This usually requires a valid commercial purpose and advanced HMRC clearance. Number 4. Capital reduction. Returning value differently. A capital reduction involves restructuring share capital. If done correctly, certain distributions may be treated as capital rather than income. This is more technical and typically requires legal and tax input. Number 5. Employee ownership trust. The 0% route, an employee ownership trust or EOT, involves selling a controlling interest to a trust for employees. If all HMRC conditions are met, the sale can qualify for 0% capital gains tax. However, the company must be a qualifying trading company, a controlling stake must be sold, and there are ongoing compliance rules. Also, payment is often made over time from future company profits. Fifth, key tax rates and rule changes for 2026 and what's changed. These numbers are important because they directly affect how much you keep. Capital gains tax allowance. Before, £6,000. Now, £3,000. Meaning more of your gain is now taxable. Business asset disposal relief rates. Before it was just 10%. For tax year 2025 to 26, 14%. From April 2026, 18%. So timing of a sale can influence the effective tax rate. Dividend tax. Basic rate and higher rate are up by 2 points. Basic rate before, 8.75%. Basic rate starting April 2026, 10.75%. Higher rate before, 33.75%. Higher rate starting April 2026, 35.75%. The gap between tax rates are narrowing, so structuring your exit properly is becoming more important. Sixth, structure, timing, and documentation. These are critical factors because this is where deals are won or lost. This is where planning really makes the difference. Because most people focus on the sale itself, but the real outcome is decided long before the deal is signed. Timing. It's about decisions, not just the sale date. Most people think timing means, when should I sell? But actually, timing is about when key decisions happen before the sale. For example, when shares are issued, when ownership is transferred, when a spouse is introduced as a shareholder, or when you step down or change roles. All of these have minimum time requirements for tax reliefs. Take business asset disposal relief as an example. You generally need to meet the conditions for at least 2 years before the sale, so if you make changes too late, they may not count. Another important point, tax rates can change between years, so selling just before or after a tax year can affect how much tax you pay. In some cases, timing a sale a few months earlier or slightly delaying it can make a noticeable difference to your net proceeds. Structure. Set it up properly and early. Structure is about how your business is set up. Who owns shares, how many shares each person holds, who has voting rights, and what roles people have in the company. This directly affects whether you qualify for reliefs, how gains are split, and how tax is calculated. A common mistake is trying to fix everything right before a sale. For example, transferring shares last minute, changing ownership percentages, and adding family members just before exiting. The issue is, HMRC sometimes look at whether arrangements are genuine and commercial. If something looks rushed or artificial, it may not achieve the intended tax treatment. So the key idea is simple: structure early, not at the last minute. Documentation. What proves everything? Even if everything is structured correctly, if it's not documented properly, it can create problems. Buyers will carry out due diligence. They will mostly check contracts, financial records, shareholder agreements, and legal ownership. If anything is unclear or missing, it slows the deal down and can reduce confidence. But it's not just buyers. HMRC may also review large transactions, so having proper records helps support your tax position, your eligibility for reliefs, and your overall compliance. This includes things like signed contracts, board meeting minutes, share certificates, dividend records, and clear ownership history. The key takeaway: timing, structure, and documentation are not just technical details. They are the foundation of a successful exit. Get them right early, and everything becomes smoother. Get them wrong, and it can cost time, money, and unnecessary tax. The best exits are not rushed. They are planned, structured, and backed by clear records. And that's what gives you control over the outcome. The seventh and final thing you should know: 3 powerful strategies most owners miss. These are often overlooked, but they can make a real difference to how much you actually keep after the sale. Because small decisions here can have a big tax impact later. Number 1. Retained cash strategy. Don't automatically take it out. A lot of business owners think, I should take all the cash out before I sell. But that's not always the most efficient move, because when you extract profits early, they're often taxed as dividends. And that can mean higher tax rates. In some situations, leaving surplus cash inside the company and including it as part of the overall sale may result in a lower overall tax position. For example, instead of taking profits year by year, those profits may form part of the value a buyer pays for the shares, which could mean they're taxed under capital gains rules instead. But here's the key point: this is not automatic. It depends on how the deal is structured, what the buyer agrees to, and how the company is valued. Some buyers may adjust the price if they see excess cash in the business. So the strategy is simple. Don't assume taking money out early is always best. Look at the bigger picture. Number 2. Early restructuring. Small changes, big impact. This is one of the most powerful strategies, but only if it's done early. Restructuring means reviewing who owns shares, how much each person owns, and what roles they hold in the company. For example, making sure shareholders meet conditions for business asset disposal relief, ensuring ownership percentages are correct, or involving a spouse where appropriate. These changes can affect eligibility for reliefs, how gains are split, and the overall tax outcome. But timing is everything. If changes are made too close to the sale, they may not qualify. Because HMRC expects arrangements to be genuine, commercial, and not purely tax-driven at the last minute. So the key idea here is plan early, because once you're already in a sale process, your flexibility becomes very limited. Number 3. Focus on net proceeds, not just the sale price. This is probably the biggest mindset shift. Most owners focus on one number: how much can I sell my business for? But that's only half the story. What really matters is, how much do I actually keep after tax? Because 2 deals can look very similar but produce completely different outcomes. For example, one deal might offer a higher headline price but comes with less favorable tax treatment. Another deal might be slightly lower but structured in a way that is more tax efficient. And in some cases, the second option leaves you with more money overall. This is where structure, timing, and advice all come together. Because it's not just about negotiating the price, it's about understanding the after-tax result. These 3 strategies all come back to one core principle: don't just focus on the sale. Focus on how the money flows to you and how it's taxed when it gets there. Because in the end, it's not about what the business sells for, it's about what you actually keep. So let's bring this all together. Here are the 7 key areas you need to remember if you want a tax-efficient exit. First, avoid common mistakes like late planning. Second, prepare your business properly. Third, understand deal structure differences between share sale and asset sale. Fourth, use appropriate tax strategies. Fifth, know the updated 2026 tax rules. Sixth, plan timing and structure carefully. And finally, focus on maximizing what you actually keep. Selling your business is one of the most important financial events of your life. It's the result of years of work, risk, and effort, and the difference between a good outcome and a great one comes down to planning early, structuring correctly, and understanding how the rules apply to you. Because in the end, it's not about what you sell for, it's about what you walk away with. Just a quick note: this video is for general educational purposes only, based on current UK tax rules and common scenarios. It does not constitute personalized advice. So, before making any decisions, you should speak to an accounting professional to assess your specific situation. If you're a UK business owner and want to stay ahead of tax changes in 2026 and beyond, subscribe to the channel